Hi, hello, and welcome to.
The Creator's Edge podcast.
So, this is Ravina, and
Josh?
this is our very first episode of the podcast, and we are very pleased to welcome you on board. Thank you so much for everyone who is joining in. So, yeah, let's start, I guess. So, yeah,
Yes, let's start.
yeah. So, for this very first episode, we thought of maybe like giving a perspective of our journeys, like from each other's point of view. So maybe you can start, Josh, and I'll continue.
Yeah, I think this is something that we have been like telling people like all the time, right? So whenever we meet someone, that's the first thing that we say. And yeah, quite a different journey, like for me. Maybe because like I took like biology in 12th, then I did mechanical engineering, and then I did like MBA in marketing, and then I quit my sales job to go into like creative fields. So when I do say that it's like something unique, but I see a lot of people do that, like take engineering and going into something that they like. So yeah, so that was my journey. And when I completed my marketing, I didn't know what to do. Like as in I was in sales, but I did not enjoy the job. So I kind of felt like that was not the place that I should be in. I found myself like at different stages in my life. I found myself like going into creative fields, like creating videos or creating sketches, art or something. So that is where I found like my happiness, joy, and those kinds of things. So one fine day, I like finally decided I just like quit and like I have to pursue this. So this is something that I like, and it's like the one life that we have. It's not like that I want to say, but it's a life that we have, and we should want to live it as much as we can in the way that we like. So I just like thought I'll just quit and went to pursue these kinds of things. So yeah, that's the journey that I have made.
That's so cool. Like, actually, I think there is like kind of similarities, and that's why we are standing here today. But for my part, I think so. I also like started with a very scientific background because that's what the society and the people wants you to do. Like, they consider that scientific background is the most valuable thing for later, and at the age where you actually have no idea about like career choices and all, you just go with it. So I did that, and actually pretty much all my life I actually followed the very traditional path. So I did scientific background, then I went to like high school, and I did here. There is in France, there is like a course called classe préparatoire, where it's 2 years of intensive studies, and it's basically like it was the worst period of my life, but I learned a lot. But today I'm not like using that much of mathematics and whatever I did. So then
We
I
don't.
went to business school where I didn't have to use anything of what I learned during those times. And during business schools,
Oh, you went to business school as well.
yeah, I did business school as well. So yeah,
Nice.
during the first years, the first years you don't specialize yourself, but then I ended up choosing marketing because at very first I yeah, high five. At very first I did like internships in HR, so nothing related to marketing. So yeah, then I did something in putting like companies in relation with organization, like social organization, stuff like that. Then I only ended up doing marketing stuff. So it was like kind of a major shift, but I think that decision was kind of linked with other projects I did personally. Like during my studies, I also did some personal project. I had like a podcast before that. I already told you about it, but yeah, I did a podcast. I did some social entrepreneurship project, and I launched a clothing brand, stuff like that. And somehow I'll talk about that later, but I ended up doing a marketing apprenticeship. I was only waiting for my studies to finish because, like, all my life, the studying part was a nightmare. I was a very good student, but I hated like exams and stuff. I was a very anxious kid, and also I was only waiting for the studies to end and have some freedom to choose whatever aligns with myself. So after that, I took a gap year. I traveled and all, and after that, like, I was still with the same mindset of when I finish my studies, which is that I don't want to follow in the 9 to 5 path, but that I want to focus on content creation and something more creative. So, yeah, that's the quick overview of my journey so far.
And yeah, like I said, like a similar journey that we had. Like
Yeah.
after studies, like what management in marketing, and then I didn't go into HR though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the only difference, I guess. But yeah, in these days, lots of people of our generation are more into, some creative stuff or less into 9 to 5 jobs and seeking more things that are meaningful and, that like corresponds with them, which is actually nice
Yeah.
to see. Even though it's a struggle, it's still nice to see that we are, seeking for some meaning and purpose in our life. So it's cool.
Yeah, so it's like also see like a lot of people, right? So as you mentioned, they want to explore their creative sides. So I felt like us and a lot of others, we have been like confined, like put into like certain boxes or something. You have to. There are like four options. Like earlier there were, I think there was two in my place, like engineering or doctor. You should like choose either, and then there are like four streams in engineering. So yeah, people like had to choose, and they were like people didn't know that they had options. They could go into creative seas and create a career for themselves. But I think more people are starting to explore it. And if you even on Insta, right, you see people on profiles, they have like their art page, they have like their like creative page. I'm seeing that more often. So I think it's a good thing that like people are getting into more of the creative side of things.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's like even more of a generational thing. I think since the moment you enter like the school system, people there, I feel they don't push you to explore your creative side or the other side passions you can have, like other than studies. I feel it should be like more the case, but even in my kind of generation, I feel like it's either like scientific background or yeah, our generation. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that old.
Yeah, true. Okay, our generation, I feel no, but you're living in India, so I don't want to, like
Ah,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
By the way, it should
Got it, yeah.
be a little like info for the audience. I'm living in France and Josh is living in India. So yeah, that's
Yes, I'm in
also
India, guys.
yeah. So the podcast is also, I think, a way to actually explore like differences and similarities in both of the cultures that of the countries we're living in. So yeah. Anyways, what I was saying was that I think schools should be more into like helping the kids, students to develop their passions as well, because since I can remember all the creative side of mine or all the projects I started to do was always on my like side. I didn't like the school didn't help me do that. Apart from the social entrepreneurship project I did, the other things like art or whatever, like clothing brand or podcast stuff, I took the initiative to do that. But eventually those things, what I was like saying earlier, I said like I'll come back to that later, was that like those projects are the ones that help me land in like some very good companies for internships and apprenticeship. So the kind of like funny thing about all this system is that like at school they don't push you to do that, and they push you to prioritize like only studies. But then when like companies hire you and recruit you, the thing they look at first is what did you do as a person, and like, do you have like kind of a leadership character like in you that can help them value your CV more than others. The questions and the discussions I had with my recruiters was mostly all about the projects I did more than my studies, and I think that's what helped me like land in like very big companies for internships and all.
Practically what you have done, or like the soft skills that you have, like the qualities, leadership
No, I
qualities.
mean like
Uh,
it's the practical stuff, because like when you like launch a podcast and you have to interview people and all, it means you're ambitious, but at the same time it means you have to show some courage to contact some unknowns
yeah.
people, talk to people who have like a bigger follower base than yours and have like a bigger
Yes.
activity than yours and all of that. So I think through the practical activity it shows the soft skills that you have. Like you learn soft skills through what you practice, like through the projects you did. So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
way for them to understand that I was like someone who has like leadership qualities or whatever, like some things that they were expecting. I think the way like they saw it was like, okay, this girl did these projects, and she was ambitious enough to do those alone, and she did them. And so yeah, it maybe shows that she has like leadership talent, she has like management talent, she knows like how to prioritize stuff because she did those along with her studies, so she has time management skills, those things. So yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to come back to is like how we see these things like as a side thing, like that's how like most people see it.
Yeah.
So you should have like a main job, and it's okay to do that. Like I'm not against people who do this on the side, but like that's how people see it. Like you should have a main job, and creative things you should explore on the side. They don't see it as like a main source of income or like the main job that they have, etc. So I think that is also something that's like a big issue or like something that should change in the mindset of people. Even now, I'm facing like in my house, like my mom will be like, you do this, you explore, you do all the video editing stuff and things like that, but you do it on the side. You should like have a main income. But I do understand their point as well. Like where that point comes from is it's like from like a point of concern. But yeah, that's how people view it. These things.
Yeah, that's true, because like even I think we even like as grown-ups we still have the doubt that is it
Mm.
possible to earn money through that, and sometimes it's even discouraging, like I know that sometimes I'm more into content creation like full time, but the number of
Yes.
doubts and struggles I'm facing like on a daily basis, like all my thoughts popping up. Am I sure, like is it possible actually to earn money through that? Is it like, even though you see lots of people doing that and living from their passion and earning money through that, you're like, as a person, do you think it's possible? Like I think we have been how to say, shaped by so many thoughts that we had so far, that today even for us sometimes it's hard, like to convince ourselves that we should keep pushing and that we should keep like doing our work without considering those thoughts and all. So yeah.
And to get those thoughts out is like thoughts out of our minds is like a difficult task, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, somehow I think we are doing it. So yeah, that's the most
Yeah.
important stuff. I think.
Yeah, and I think it's about like doing it like getting seeing it like a step by step thing, right? So everyone like can't earn like how big creators earn like right away, or yeah, we do have to depend on a lot of things in these times. Instagram, like we are dependent on like other platforms for to showcase our skills and etc.
Yeah, and I think like that will be for like a whole other episode, but we will talk maybe later about like the virality aspect, and maybe like the struggle of being a content creator and how it can be like frustrating sometimes. But yeah, like overall I think that the important part is to start, and then like if you believe in yourself enough, I don't see like any reason why it doesn't work. It may be slow as it is for me or for you. It may be like very slow, but I think we will eventually like reach the you know the how to say, the fruits of our efforts. Is that the correct translation? Like the results, sorry if it was the current translation. Anyway, yeah, so for the why we are here and how it started, I think we already made like a quick video about it, but I think like social media today, and people don't talk about it much, is that it also helps you find like other creators who have the same like mindset. For me,
Yeah.
in since I was like a kid, I didn't meet any creator in person, like at school or whatever. Like I was only feeling like the odd one out, like that girl who is always like doing some project stuff, and my friends didn't understand at all. And it was a very weird feeling, to be honest. Sometimes I was like, why am I like so much into like different stuff, and I'm like kind of like jack of all trades, master of none, but like
Mm.
others are more only about like studying and partying, and that's it, like they just want to go out with friends, study, and that's it. But I was always like, in my free time, I always wanted to do something more than just studying, and it was kind of an escape for me, like the art part is like an escape from me from the daily life, so I saw it that way. But yeah, like I feel that sharing your passion with the world is how you find like other creators that are with the same mindset. and I guess that's how we met. So if you want to share about that, maybe.
Yeah, even the thought, like the simple thought of like you're not alone, it's like a huge thing. Like, and yeah, so that does a lot to you. Like, to find someone who's like who's in the same boat as us, it's some sort of like reassurance for us. So it definitely helps, and to talk to someone about the similar challenges that you have, and it's good to talk to people about these stuff. And like, yeah, I can't talk about like camera settings or like this editing issue or something to like another person, like any friend of mine, right? So it's good to talk about these things as well. Even though like I said, like even if you don't get solutions from like talking to people, it's good to talk to people. That always helps, and it does a little bit at least to you when you're creating stuff.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, as you mentioned, I think it really helps you to feel less lonely, because even though like physically the person is not there, there is someone you can like talk to about like every struggle you face on a daily life, and it's always motivating, to, I don't know, keep ourselves like accountable about the next videos we are going to upload, or ask for some feedback regarding some stuff. So yeah, I think it really changed. Like, that's when I was like really in a way like grateful for Instagram, for example, because I was like, okay, like I always wanted to build a sort of like community of, similar minded people. And to be honest, on my page, maybe it's because I started with only like photography or any like that kind of thing, and maybe because I didn't like express myself that much on social media, like, head talks video, or like, just me expressing like who I am. Maybe that's why I don't have like that community yet. But like you and some other creators are the only one I got to meet through my content creation thing, that are like almost the same mind people. But I really want, like, at the end of the day, to build a community of creators, and have really people with whom we can like talk to.
And being like part of a community as well, right? So you get to find people who are like in a stage that is like in front of you, and a stage like in back of you, and with in the same stage as you as well. So you can learn from people. You can like give your learnings to others as well. There's a space for you to like grow amongst people with like similar mindset. So yeah, I think that's what we want to do with this podcast as well, right?
The end goal is to actually have people with like similar mindset struggles or journey to join our podcast, in a way they can like listen to it and feel that they are not alone in this, and that like we all kind of share the same struggles. Goal is actually to reunite like all creators together, and maybe, yeah, for create a community, and maybe we can, maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking, but maybe we can meet in physical, like, it could be nice.
That's a possibility that we don't want to ignore. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, we will try to publish like one episode per week. Is that correct, Josh?
Yeah.
Are we? Okay. We are actually motivating each other to accomplish our goals within the correct deadline. So yeah, we will try to like publish one episode per week. And now we actually have to figure out like the technicalities to be able to do that. But yeah, it's not impossible. And so yeah, let the journey begin, I guess.
Let the journey begin.